after being kidnapped from their trucking company. An 8-month-old girl, her parents, and her uncle were all killed. Now at noon,
Hello, everybody. Mm. A second person has been arrested in the murders of a Merced, California family. I should say the kidnapping murders of a Merced, California family, including a mother, a father, an 8-month-old child, and the father's brother. A brother. A brother of Jesus Salgado, Alberto, has been arrested for conspiracy to commit murder, a slew of criminal conspiracy charges, including being an accessory and destroying evidence. Jesus Salgado is the prime suspect in the kidnapping and killing of this family. It happened this past week. Jesus had been a former employee of the family business, and he allegedly had a dispute with them that involved money. Now, Jesus Manuel Salgado, 48, has been in a hospital in critical condition after he tried to kill himself earlier this week. He has now been booked into the Merced County Jail on 4 counts of murder, 4 counts of kidnapping. Now, the brother, Alberto, he was arrested last night, and he's being accused of a vast criminal conspiracy, including being an accessory in these crimes and outright destroying evidence. Now, this is a Sikh family. Again, 8-month-old Aurori Derry, 27-year-old Jasleen Kaur, 36-year-old Jasdeep Singh, and 39-year-old Amandeep Singh were found dead in a very, very remote farm area in California, about 30 minutes away from the family business. Authorities suspect that the family was killed within an hour of their kidnapping. Now, we all watched the surveillance footage of this kidnapping take place. And we watched the alleged killer, Jesus Salgado, walk up to the business. Originally, actually, he had walked up from behind on the business and was actually caught on another surveillance video. Not only was he walking up from the back side of the property, he was definitely out there up to no good. The dog, there was a dog that was the brothers had brought to the workplace with them. The dog knew something. Now, in the first part of the surveillance clip, you actually see Jesus Salgado right up at the fence line. Obviously, he was looking through whatever cracks in the fence he could look through to see what was going on the property of this business. Within a matter of a few minutes, first, before I even go there, the dog started kind of just going nuts, and it prompted one of the brothers to actually come out and see what was going on. Prompted his interest. Jesus Salgado, allegedly, of course, walks up and around, because the way that the business was fenced off, he had to walk up around the fence, and he's carrying a trash bag, a white trash bag, almost see-through. It didn't even look like there was really much of anything in it. The sun was hitting it just right. I'm sure authorities can probably zoom in on the clear surveillance footage and see some of the items that he actually had in this bag. But he walks up, and he's got a mask on his face. He's got his hood pulled up. I don't know if the brother that led him up to this place of business, I don't know if he knew that was Jesus, because there's no sound on this surveillance. But Jesus most definitely was looking for cameras, because as he turned to make that right 90-degree angle to continue his way into this business, up this ramp, he proceeds to pause. And he looks back. He looks directly at the camera. You get a good shot of his face. He looks so suspicious. And I always hate this part of doing these stories, but I do have to tell you sort of some of the things that are being said as far as like causes of death. So, and because it does speak to a lot of the crime, right? Whoever did this obviously had a crap load of anger and hate towards this family to wipe them off the face of this earth. What I'm hearing through sources is that these two brothers were killed with a machete and that the mother was shot while holding her 8-month-old baby. My understanding is there was no wounds on the child. That's why they're saying what they're saying as far as this child was left for dead, basically, with her dead parents and her dead uncle out there in an almond orchard. All of their bodies were found relatively close together. They were found Wednesday night. They were kidnapped on Monday morning around 9 a.m. on the dot, actually. And they were found Wednesday night. So between Monday morning and Wednesday night, Rory, the 8-month-old child, passed away. But we don't know the cause of death from that. Again, medical examiner will be providing a cause of death. But as of now, there were no visible injuries. Back in 2005, 48-year-old Jesus Manuel Salgado served time for robbery, an aggravated robbery at that, a very aggravated robbery. So much so that former victim in that case, who said that he had fired Jesus Salgado from his Central Valley trucking company, that Salgado shows up to his home in a ski mask with a gun, threatening his family before he robbed them. He went to prison for this. He also torched the Singh's pickup truck. It was on fire Monday. That is what prompted this missing person report. The Sikh family was absolutely taken against their will from this business into the South Merced area of the county on Monday. Again, authorities are kind of putting together a timeline, and they seem to indicate that it was maybe approximately an hour. I hope that authorities will be looking at like voice memos and the most recent photos or videos that were taken on these people's phones. I know that they found their phones relatively close to where their bodies were found. So we don't know. If there's any like details on these phones, or if these phones would have been like in the possession of these people. Now, Merced police found a 2020 Dodge Ram truck that had been registered to Amandeep, that's the brother on the right, that was on fire around 11:30 Monday morning, right? They were kidnapped 9 o'clock on the dot. The truck was found at 11:30 a.m. on fire. An investigation started. And these 4 members of the Singh family could not be located. Merced police then made contact with a family member of Amandeep Singh at the house where that truck was registered. The person attempted to contact the family, but no one responded, and they reported the 4 other family members missing. The sheriff's office then went to the family's trucking company, where they would come to believe that the family was kidnapped. Authorities noticed that something wasn't quite right pretty soon and started going through the business's security system. By early afternoon, this past Monday, authorities had seen the kidnapping take place on video. This surveillance video, which will make an appearance in the future trial of Jesus Salgado and his brother, shows Jasdeep and the suspected kidnapper, 48-year-old Jesus Manuel Salgado, making contact outside the business. Salgado then walks into the business after pulling a gun out of his left pocket. This is all seen on the surveillance. Salgado then zip ties the two brothers, walks them out of the back of the trailer of the business, literally stops them before they walk past the trailer where they would be visible. And he literally stopped them so he could peek. He then turns around and walks the two brothers to the pickup truck. He leaves with the brothers. 6.5 minutes later, he comes back. This time, goes back into the property via the back door, kidnaps the mother, 27-year-old Jaslyn Cower, and her daughter, 8-month-old Aurori. She comes out, and he leads her out while she's holding her child. Authorities do believe that within an hour, Mrs. Cower was dead, as well as the Singh brothers. It's a very curious thing that Jesus left for 6.5 minutes and came back. I wish that Mrs. Cower would have ran like hell. She had 6.5 minutes, but there's no telling what was going on. We don't know. For all we know, she could have been tied up in the house. We don't know. There are no surveillance cameras not inside the house, the business. There are no surveillance cameras inside that business. Now listen, if you have a business and you've been thinking that maybe you should get surveillance cameras, stop thinking about it and just do it. Today's the day. Today's the day. If there's any part of your defense, whether it's, you'd love to get cameras inside of a business, but maybe you don't have the money to do it, and, something you've been thinking about doing and you haven't did it yet, you need to do it. Because it's always unexpected. Now, authorities do believe that all 4 family members were in the truck at the same time. They're not sure what happened between the 6 minutes before the child and mother were put into the truck. It was Monday evening, right, when Sheriff Vernon Warnke said that there were signs suggesting that the individuals involved tried destroying any evidence of a kidnapping. Remember, they had the kidnapping. They knew there was a kidnapping on Monday evening, going into Monday evening. They had found the truck burnt out. So they knew something horrible had happened. Now, as far as the timeline, it's a bit unclear where the family was taken directly after the kidnapping. It's also unclear what led up to their bodies being found at the farm in Dos Palos, except for to say the suspect, Jesus Salgado, did not lead authorities to this almond orchard. He was too busy trying to kill himself, and ended up in a hospital. And it put him on the radar. And then, of course, his past of aggravated robbery, the fact that he's did something very similar before. Again, the sheriff said he does believe they were killed within an hour of the kidnapping on Monday. This is a quote. "We have absolutely no idea unless the suspect we've got right now tells us exactly what happened. We've got video evidence. We do have enough circumstantial evidence that we know we've got the right guy, but we don't know all of the timeline. The next day, Merced County Sheriff's Office detectives got a tip early in the morning that one of the kidnapped family members' cards was used at an ATM in the city of Atwater. Hours later, investigators were able to identify that person of interest as 48-year-old Jesus. Before law enforcement took any action, Salgado tried to kill himself and, was in the hospital, right? But he's out. He's been booked. 4 counts of murder, 4 counts of kidnapping. It's official. It's official. He has been booked. Now, again, there's been no indication that Jesus led authorities to this family. A farmer, okay, who was harvesting almond trees, found the family's body around 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday, relatively close to each other near Indiana and Hutchins Road in the city of Dos Palos. A very extreme, rural, and very remote piece of farmland. Again, Dos Palos is located roughly 27 miles south of Merced. And now, Sheriff Warnke did not discuss the condition of the adults' bodies, but he did say it was unclear how the child died. Warnke said that the child had no visible trauma and an autopsy is being conducted. The sheriff's office also said that they're not going to be releasing any additional details because his office wants to pursue a full conviction of this suspect. Now, the family, the brother, he has a brother, right? He has a brother. I'm talking about the alleged killer here, Alberto, who is being accused of conspiring with his killer brother, Jesus, and being accused of destroying evidence. Sheriff Warnke also said this, quote, "The original case in 2005 was based upon his belief that the company owed him money. I believe it's similar to this one here, and it could be even further. Obviously, I believe truly that at the very beginning, his intention was to kill these people," end quote. And he said there was nothing stolen from the trucking company. They had just opened that office in the last few weeks. Now, loved ones have been sharing details about the family.
Tragic end.
And of course, they would never let us just see the video, right?
In Merced with all of those who loved this family.
Yeah, for people who knew them, they say that this is going to take some time. Family members of 4 people, a pair of brothers, a mother, and an 8-month-old baby girl are trying to wrap their minds around this tragedy.
For us, it's a very cruel, it's very unexpected incident.
Paramjeet Singh and Edwin Kainth shared immediate family was too shaken to speak after learning of their deaths.
They lost their whole family, and the person who committed that act, he is really evil. He has no respect for the humankind.
Authorities say the missing family was kidnapped, and on Wednesday, the Merced County Sheriff announced their bodies had been found.
The entire Merced County is kind of shaken yesterday when they recovered the body of 4 innocent family members. So that will never be forgotten in our family.
The sheriff said the family had been taken against their will from a business. Outside it now, flowers and so many questions. As set up for a Thursday night vigil began.
There's nothing else to say other than we lost a nice family, and it's unrecoverable. We cannot recover that. It's a heartbroken incident.
Some class.
My deepest condolences to the Singh family, to all their entire family. This is horrible. And this career criminal, and it will be tried, obviously, in court, but this career criminal was obviously accused of wiping out an entire family. Why take the baby? I do look forward to additional details of the timeline being released. I hope that authorities will find more evidence. I really hope they'll check these victims' phones for previous voice memos, photos, recent videos. We don't know. Maybe one of them had the phone on them and managed to turn it on. You can literally press a button twice and activate the camera on Android devices and do like a shortcut hotkeys. So we don't know. But I will continue to monitor this case. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, a fantastic Friday. I will catch you guys very soon. Shout out to the Crime and Investigations.